Yeah, well, same as the ones in Perth. Told you. No, I love it. I mean, I know how it is. I know it's nothing personal. Maybe it is. If it is, I don't care. But, it's sports and it's amazing. Thank you for coming out, supporting, booing. It means, you guys care about the sport. And I appreciate you guys coming out, showing. And when I won the fight.
Does this win in a way, the way you won, almost prove something more? A lot of people are questioning your cardio. Can you go 5 rounds? All that stuff. Does it feel good to kind of shut those people up a little bit?
I don't care what people think about, but doing my thing, so.
Du Plessis recently opened up about his loss to Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. After the fight, Chimaev shared his perspective as well, addressing the talk around Du Plessis' physical strength. While many fans and analysts had hyped up Dricus as one of the strongest opponents in the division, Khamzat said he didn't actually feel that power inside the cage. He explained that the difference was clear once they clashed, noting that he was able to take Du Plessis down without much trouble. In his view, the reputation of Du Plessis' raw strength had been blown out of proportion.
Sometimes a lot of fans talk about Dricus and about how strong he is. Compared to some of the other guys you fought, was he very strong or not really?
Nah, not like people talking about, so could take him down like anyone else.
On the other side, Du Plessis addressed the crowd's reaction following his loss to Chimaev. He said he didn't take the boos personally, explaining that it's simply part of sports. In fact, he appreciated the fans for showing their passion, whether they were cheering or booing. Du Plessis added that when he's won in the past and received respect and applause, it's meant a lot to him. So this time, the negative reaction didn't bother him.
Yeah, well, same as the ones in Perth. Told you. No, I love it. I mean, I know how it is. I know it's nothing personal. Maybe it is. If it is, I don't care. But, it's sports and it's amazing. Thank you for coming out, supporting, booing. It means, you guys care about the sport. And I appreciate you guys coming out, showing. And when I won the fight, people were cheering and giving me my flowers. And it means the absolute world to me. Even though you booed, it doesn't matter. I know it's not personal. It's a name of sport.
Chimaev was also asked if his victory carried extra weight given the criticism around his cardio and ability to go a full 5 rounds. He dismissed the outside noise, saying he doesn't care what people think. His focus is only on performing inside the cage. To back it up, he pointed to the numbers: 529 total strikes thrown, over 21 minutes of control time, and 12 takedowns. He stressed that at no point did he gas out, and for him, those stats alone prove the doubts about his conditioning were unfounded.
Does this win in a way, the way you won, almost prove something more? A lot of people are questioning your cardio. Can you go 5 rounds? All that stuff. Does it feel good to kind of shut those people up a little bit?
I don't care what people think about, but doing my thing. So, like you said, how many strikes I landed on him, how many takedowns I has there. So, I didn't guess out. So, now they know.
Yeah, it was 529 total strikes and 21 minutes and 40 seconds of control time, which was the second most ever in a UFC fight.
Yeah. How many takedowns was there?
Let's see.
4, right? Yeah.
You had 12 takedowns.
So, yeah, that's big by itself.
Du Plessis admitted afterward that Chimaev's control on the ground was suffocating, like a blanket that anticipated every move without needing to rely on sheer strength. He explained that in crucial moments he was forced to choose between staying on his back or risking giving up his back entirely. Du Plessis gave full credit to Chimaev, acknowledging that he was the better man on the night and deserved the win. He vowed to come back stronger and reclaim his title, while also thanking the fans, saying they are the reason the sport exists. Without them, fighters wouldn't even have a job.
The man has incredible control on the top. He's just like a blanket. I mean, he knew what your next move was going to be. And he got it without using too much power. And I had to decide, am I going to be on my back or have him on my back? Big ups to Khamzat. He deserves this 100%. He beat me fair and square tonight. He was a better man tonight, and I'll be back. And I'm coming back to get my belt back. But for now, it's his, and he deserves it. Thank you for all the fans who came out and supported us. You make this amazing, and without you guys, we don't have a job. So we really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. I'll be back stronger and better than ever.
Chimaev was also asked about the moments when he had Du Plessis back and why he couldn't secure the choke like he had against previous opponents. He explained that the sweat made it difficult to lock in the submission properly. Chimaev added that he went for it again in the final 30 seconds after hearing his corner call out the time. But by then it was too late to fully sink it in and force the tap.
You've had that back position on a lot of guys and you'd be able to choke them out. Was Dricus doing anything right to defend it, or?
Just because I was sweating, I went under last 30 seconds, tried to finish him. So I heard my corner says 30 seconds, that means to go to meet him. So I tried, but make mistake. So thankful for my coach, he gives the black belt, but I was like, when I went under, fuck, I don't have a black belt now. So, but he gives me respect. Thanks.
Chael Sonnen suggested that the next name to keep an eye on could be Reinier de Ridder, saying it would be fascinating to see how he handles Chimaev's wrestling after the way he dealt with Bo Nickel. Sonnen also cautioned that describing Chimaev's dominance needs to be done carefully because of how overwhelming it truly was. He pointed to the numbers, Chimaev landing 537 strikes compared to just 49 from Du Plessis, nearly a 10-to-1 ratio. To put it in perspective, Sonnen reminded fans that he once held the record himself with 311 strikes, but Chimaev blew past that number. He stressed that the judges scored it 10-to-8 across the board, calling it one of the most one-sided world title fights in UFC history.
And that's RDR. And that is very interesting. Seeing how RDR could deal with the wrestling of Bo makes you wonder if he could deal with the wrestling of Chimaev. And we have to word it that way, guys, because what Chimaev has shown, the dominance that he has shown, there was 537 strikes landed by Chimaev. Now, let me put that in perspective because I used to have the record. I had the record and I crushed the record to win it, and I had 311. 311 was the record. I know that for sure because I had it. He had 527 against 49. 49 strikes. So it was 10-to-1 Chimaev. And when you see something that incredibly dominant, and there was all sorts of judges throwing up 10-8 rounds tonight. I mean, this was one of the most lopsided victories in history for a world championship.
Daniel Cormier summed it up by saying a new champion was officially crowned, Khamzat Chimaev, who dominated Du Plessis for the full 25 minutes and walked away with unanimous 50-44 scorecards. Cormier admitted he was surprised by how effortlessly Chimaev secured takedowns and maintained control throughout the fight. At the same time, he praised Du Plessis for never quitting and continuing to believe he could swing the momentum. Still, Cormier emphasized that Chimaev looked laser-focused, in phenomenal shape, and erased any doubts about his cardio once and for all.
Tonight, a new champ was crowned in Khamzat Chimaev. He went out there and he dominated Dricus Du Plessis for 25 minutes, won the championship 50-44 across the board. I was very surprised at how easily he was able to take Du Plessis down and control him. To his credit, Dricus never gave up on himself. He continued to believe that he was going to eventually get Khamzat and win the fight. But as the rounds went on, you saw that even though Dricus has a championship's mindset, it wasn't going to matter. Chimaev was just too driven. He looked like he was in tremendous shape. If there was a knock that Chimaev had no cardio, that's been proven wrong.
Cormier also added that Du Plessis needs to sharpen his wrestling if he wants to reclaim the belt, but gave full credit to Chimaev for executing his game plan perfectly. He highlighted Khamzat's relentless pace, constant pressure, smothering control, and rock-solid cardio, saying he looked more prepared than ever in his career. Cormier described it as pure dominance, noting that the odds makers had favored Chimaev going in, and he more than justified those expectations. As for Du Plessis, Cormier said his path forward is to regroup in a division stacked with tough contenders and dangerous challengers.
Yeah, he needs to be wrestling more, but I mean, Khamzat Chimaev just did exactly what he wanted to do. His pace, his pressure, his control, his cardio, everything looked on point tonight. He looked more prepared than he's ever been in his entire career. His whole career has been impressive. It's just pure dominance, man. The bookies were right. They knew, and Khamzat Chimaev proved them right 10 times over. And for Dricus, he goes back into a division full of sharks.
Dana White admitted that before the event, he had expected the main event to be fight of the night. But after watching Chimaev dominate, he said the result didn't shock him. According to Dana, when a fighter controls the first round in such a decisive way, they usually carry that momentum through the rest of the fight. He pointed out that in the crucifix position, Chimaev landed nearly 200 punches in a single round. While they weren't knockout shots, nobody wants to be stuck taking that kind of punishment. It drains a fighter's will and leaves lasting damage. Dana added that Du Plessis' face was badly beaten up, and with the knees Chimaev delivered to his body and legs, it was going to be a long, painful flight back to South Africa.
The lead up to this fight, I said, I bet the main event is the fight of the night. Didn't see that coming, but not shocked either. I mean, you go in and dominate the way that he dominated. You can do it the first round. One likely going to do it the second and throughout the rest of the fight.
On the crucifix, it's a weird one, right? They're landing strikes. He's landing like 200 punches around, but they're not quite hard enough to end the fight. Are you glad the referee doesn't wave the fight off in that?
Listen, I don't know how hard they are, and I don't want to know how hard they are. Nobody wants to be in a crucifix getting punched in the head like that. It's got to be the most frustrating, suck the heart and soul right out of you type thing to happen. And just getting dominated on the ground the way that he did is no fun for anybody. I wouldn't say that, he's getting pitted strike. I mean, his face was pretty busted up. The knees that he was taking to the body and to the legs and the hips, and it's going to be a long ride home to South Africa.
Michael Bisping celebrated the UFC's new champion, noting that Khamzat Chimaev became the first fighter from Chechnya to capture a world title. He said Chimaev completely ran through Du Plessis from start to finish, and the scorecards told the story, 50-44 across the board, including a 10-8 round. Bisping also gave Du Plessis credit for his composure, pointing out that he never panicked, stayed focused between rounds, and still carried the belief that he could turn things around, even while being dominated.
We have got a brand new champion of the world, the first Chechen champion, because yes, Khamzat Chimaev, Boris, the undefeated, went out there and absolutely ragdolled Dricus Du Plessis from start to finish. It wasn't even close. I mean, when you look at the judges' scorecards, the scores were 50-44, 50-44, and 50-44, all across the board. Now, there was a 10-8 round thrown in there. There could have been a few more 10-8s. The reality was Khamzat Chimaev went out there and just wiped the floor with him. He did. Dricus never gave up. Fair play to Dricus Du Plessis. He stayed composed. He stayed focused. He didn't panic. He didn't quit. He didn't give up on himself. In between rounds at the start of the fight, he was still kind of jovial and saying, look, listen, I got this. At the end of the fight,
Alexander Volkanovski admitted he had picked Du Plessis before the fight, expecting a wild battle filled with scrambles that might wear Chimaev down over 5 rounds. But the fight unfolded much differently. Chimaev was able to take Du Plessis down with little resistance and control him without wasting much energy. Volkanovski explained that the reason there weren't many scrambles was because of Chimaev's tight control, which stopped Du Plessis from creating those chaotic exchanges. That efficiency allowed Khamzat to comfortably go the full 5 rounds, proving both his pace and composure. Volkanovski gave him full credit, calling it an incredible win.
Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis. I picked Dricus. I thought, as I said, there's going to be a crazy storm that he's going to have to try and weather. He was able to weather it, but I thought there would be a lot more chaos happening. I thought there would be a lot more scrambles, and that would wear on Chimaev more. But that wasn't the case. He was able to, not much of a scramble, got him down reasonably easy, or like just the way they went down, it was like there wasn't much of a fight there, and then was able to hold him without probably using too much energy. And I think that was great for Chimaev. I know a lot of people are, he went 5 rounds easy. I want to know when he has to really force the takedowns. He was able to be in positions that not as much scrambles, which I thought Dricus Du Plessis would be able to do, but and that's because of Chimaev's control. So, that is Chimaev's doing. That's why that happened. So, again, incredible. Wait, let me make this order. One sec.
Joe Rogan said that for Du Plessis to bounce back from this defeat and close the gap with Chimaev would be a massive challenge. He explained that the grappling dominance Chimaev displayed wasn't just a step above. It was several levels beyond anything Du Plessis could manage. Rogan pointed out that Du Plessis had no real solutions for that kind of suffocating control, and even questioned who he trained with during camp, suggesting he didn't have partners capable of replicating Chimaev's grappling level.
For Dricus to come back from that and bridge the gap between him and Khamzat, that is a tall task.
Yeah.
It's a tall task, because that kind of dominance, that kind of grappling dominance was not just a level, it was multiple levels. And it just didn't seem like he had any answer for that. I don't know who he brought in to train with him, but clearly he didn't bring in anybody that had that kind of skill.
Sean Maloney commented that it was widely expected that Khamzat Chimaev would eventually become champion. He raised the question of what's next for him, whether to stay at middleweight or even move up to light heavyweight, mentioning potential matchups with fighters like Alex Pereira or Mamd Khalidov. Maloney added that he didn't see much of a threat from contenders such as Sean Strickland or Israel Adesanya.